I've been thinking that a lot lately. Maybe I'm just a bitter person. But yeah, honestly, fuck you. Um,
One, two, three, four.
hello. I'm back. It's currently 5 a.m. in the morning. It's 5 a.m. in the morning. And I just spent the whole night kind of stressing, I suppose. And I felt like I couldn't sleep until I figured something out that I felt like was necessary to figure out immediately. That happens a lot. It happens quite often. But yeah, there's something that I wrote down while I was in my head. And I wrote down that anxiety is not evil. And I wanted to elaborate on that. I wanted to sort of express what stating that made me feel and what it made me think about in a raw format. I feel like, okay, context. I'm a person who experiences a significant amount of anxiety and feelings of just general worry, I don't like the word stress. That feels like it has to be tied to an event. So I'm just gonna say worry, general anxiety. It feels like it has no rhyme or reason. It just feels like it's forever present, and forever felt. Always felt. It's always there, always underlying. So I feel that quite a bit, and I experience it quite a bit, and I experience a lot of the physical. I don't want to say consequences because that feels like then I'm just doing it to myself. I would rather say the physical symptoms of anxiety and worry, which is like tenseness on my shoulders, lower back. When it gets really bad, it gets really, really bad sometimes. Like really, really bad. But like just in general, when you experience a lot of anxiety, it can manifest on your body, and you can feel just a general tenseness. And yeah, it's not fun. But the process of experiencing those feelings and experiencing those states of being is that you, or I in particular, question why it's happening, because it feels like it's coming out of nowhere. I feel like I'm doing it to myself. I feel like there's a part of me that's doing it to myself, right? And that can make me judge myself for feeling those things and for being in those states, for overthinking and for overanalyzing to a point of like in bleeding at my temples, that could bring a lot of judgment, self-judgment for your feelings. And because the feelings do cause so much discomfort and pain, it does make you judge the feeling itself as being a bad thing or being a sort of evil, being a force of evil, being a force of like something that's trying to kill you or something that's trying to hurt you. I think I watched something years ago, a long time ago, where someone had an ayahuasca trip. I used to be really into drugs, like not doing them, but just I used to watch a lot of confessionals, or like, what is it called, testimonies about people like doing drugs and just their experiences. I used to be really into that a few years ago. I just find it so interesting how realities experienced under different circumstances, under different influences. So yeah, I was really into that. So someone had an ayahuasca trip, and she said that she basically came face to face with her anxiety, and then she said she like told it that she's okay now. It doesn't need to try to protect her. And I was like, damn, that stuck with me. Like till this day I think about that when I'm trying to remind myself that anxiety is not a force of evil. It's trying to protect you. That's all it's trying to do, is trying to protect you. Like if you think about it as a parent, parents could have good intentions and still end up hurting you in some way. It's also because I experience it so continuously, a lot of it is unnecessary. And I just think of it as I have this hyper vigilant older sister in my mind that is so worried about me, that is trying to protect me 24/7. And it makes it feel less like an attack. And I respect what it's trying to do. So yeah, I was just thinking about that. I was just thinking about not demonizing the anxiety I experience, because ultimately it's programmed to make me live as long as possible and make me experience the least amount of pain and suffering that this world has to offer, by making me hyper alert, by making me analyze, by making me overthink. And it just wants me to be thorough. It just wants to make sure that we are okay before I can sleep. And it just overdoes it, She's just overdoing it. But she's not a bad thing, because there are instances where it's saved my life, and it's kept me away from people who I should have been kept away. Abel, can I talk? It's made me worry about people that I should have been worried about, And I feel like it's just a little bit burdened. It's a little burdened little thing. I can imagine it in my mind, just being like up 24/7 on Red Bull, going through the notes, flipping through, crushing the numbers, making sure that I'm completely safe. That's how I envision it visually. It's just this person walking up and down. They have a fucking whiteboard. They just listing out all the people. They're listing out all the bad things that could happen. So I'm just aware. Sometimes I'm like, girl, you don't need to do that. I'm just going to the grocery store. You don't need to do all that. You really don't have to remind me that kidnapping exists. Like, not right now, And also, because it's so unnecessary, it feels like you don't deserve it. In a way, I don't know how to describe it. Like, you haven't earned the suffering, because nothing bad is actually happening to you. It's just that your mind is overactively trying to make sure that nothing bad is happening or ever happens, that it's making the bad thing be happening all the time. Even if by like making you imagine the bad things and making you envision what that pain of those bad things would feel like, and then you feel the feelings without experiencing the experience. You feel those feelings, those like feelings that your mind can conjure up for you to be scared of that thing enough so you don't go outside. I don't know how to describe it. It's like you wake up and you're like, oh my gosh. Your mind is like, oh, your anxiety is like an anxiety experience. Guys, I told you I'm doing that thing where I don't attach myself to the things that happen to me. So you wake up and then the anxiety experience is like, yo, wouldn't it suck if you went outside and you were kidnapped? Oh my gosh, imagine what that would feel like. Imagine what they would look like. Your anxiety is just trying to be like, don't you want to stay at home forever and do nothing? Because when you do nothing, nothing bad can happen. Because you know, when bad things happen, they really suck and it's really painful. So imagine that pain, and I want that pain to motivate you to crave safety and to crave staying in your comfort zone, because that's when we are most safe, right? Wait, what? I actually forgot where I was going with that. I got too passionate. I got lost in the sauce. Wait, hold on. What? Oh, but yeah. Oh, okay, I was saying that people who experience a lot of anxiety could feel a sense of guilt or a sense of like, you shouldn't be feeling that way because nothing's happening, which is valid, I suppose. But then you judge yourself for feeling feelings, and it's like, you're not that thing that you're experiencing. You're not that thing. You're not that thing. You are experiencing the thing. So it felt important for me to express that you're not a bad person for having anxious thoughts and feelings. It does feel that way sometimes. I think it's also like culture in a way that feeds into the guilt, because there are well-intentioned conversations and little titles on blog posts that make you feel shit for feeling like shit, because they like make it, I don't know, the phrases imply that it's your problem or it's your doing. Like, 10 ways your anxiety is holding you back. Like, bitch, I know. Like, I know. Depending on my mood, I suppose it can be helpful, but like sometimes I'm just like, shut the fuck up. Like, honestly, I wouldn't wish this sensitivity on my worst enemy, which is myself. I feel like, yeah, the culture online could be like blamey on the person who's experiencing the thing, to be like, you're the reason this is happening and you should stop it. And it's like, this is fucking difficult. And I feel like a part of the process that I feel like is not is really important, that I feel like is necessary to move on from stuff, is acknowledging how hard it is to move on from it. Just acknowledging, like, I don't always need encouragement. Sometimes I just need acknowledgement. I need to feel like seen. I need my suffering to feel understood before I feel like, I don't know, that I can be liberated from it. Because when it's not acknowledged, I don't know what it is. It's like you're not respecting the gravity of what's happening. And you're just like being like, oh, get over it. And it's like, can we just acknowledge? Can we acknowledge how big the elephant in the room is before we move it outside? So then we can maybe like know if we need to carve out the door frame, because maybe it won't fit out the door frame, but also like, how do we get in the house? You know, the elephant in the room. Where the hell does that phrase come from? Anyways, the culture online that I'm seeing that is well-intentioned can also feel like blamey because it's like, you know, like healing culture, like, don't date until you're healed. And it's like, girl, people experience trauma to be in a state where they need to be healed. And like, people are making people feel like shit for not being healed, when it's like they did not put themselves in the situation to be healed in the first place. And we're not blaming the accurate people. We should be blaming the people that made them feel like they're not good enough, or them that made them feel like they feel like they should be on survival mode, or they feel like insecure, or they feel whatever they feel that is stopping them from living a liberated life. You know, we don't live in a perfect world, so shit happens, and it's annoying to have like this messaging stuff down your throat of being like, why aren't you the best version of yourself yet? Like, shut the fuck up. But yeah, I'm fighting with an invisible, I don't know, thing right now. I feel like it's just the energy we've created in the studio today is really like, it's well-intentioned, I think, but it's also like annoying. Maybe I'm just a bitter person. I've been thinking that a lot lately. Maybe I'm just a bitter person. But yeah, honestly, fuck you. I take pleasure in my cynicism sometimes. It just makes me feel normal. I feel like being positive is exhausting and weird to be all the time. But yeah, it makes me feel like a human being to be cynical sometimes. It makes me feel like real. But yeah, healing culture can be really annoying and elitist, because like not everyone can afford therapy. Not everyone is in an environment where healing is possible, and not everyone is actually at arm's length or away from the things that cause them trauma, or the people that cause them trauma, you know. So yeah, it's just annoying, and it's like, I don't know, there's flaws in every single culture. I feel like I'm pretty skilled at like looking at loopholes, or like where things don't work, you know, looking at the holes in the building rather than looking at the building itself. It is well intentioned, and I feel like it's encouraging people to, oh wait, I'm being positive, wait, hold on, I'm being positive. It's encouraging people to seek help for what they've been through, and to acknowledge what they've been through, and to try to move on from what they've been through, and to be aware to be aware of their mental health and what they need to feel like they're living in real time, in the present moment. So that's what's good about it. I don't think it's like a flawed and a fundamentally flawed culture, but I feel like obviously it gets annoying sometimes. I don't know how this turned into this. But yeah, I think it's time to sleep now. I think I've gotten a few things off my chest. And yeah, thanks for hanging out with me. What am I going to do? I'm going to try to get some shut-eye. Now, hopefully tomorrow is a significantly less anxious day. You know, having realistic expectations. Yeah, thank you for listening, and goodbye. Okay? Bye.